Frank Napolitano had no trouble getting here. From MortgageBrokersOttawa.com. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Been a couple of weeks.
I know you're at the game last night, a little disappointed, but,
I was.
but
I believe.
like you said,
I believe.
if you had somebody at the start of this season said to you, okay, you're going to be in the first round, Game 7 against the Rangers, you okay with that?
I think every single fan in Ottawa would have been okay with it. Who would have thought we would be the last Canadian team standing at the beginning of the year? Who would have thought that?
Nobody. What is the Purchase Plus Improvement Program?
It's a great program that gets really a lot of print, or at least we try to bring it out in the spring, because that's when the majority of people buy their homes. And it's a program where you can walk into a house and not specifically like something about a house and be able to add that improvement onto your mortgage up front. But you have to do it up front, and that's the key, where a lot of customers will call us and say, hey, Frank, like, you know, we're going to do the improvements later. Can we add to it? Depending on your down payment. But if you're buying a home with 5% down now, first-time home buyer buying with 5, maybe 10% down, when you buy it, you can buy with 5% down. If you're going to refinance it down the road, you need to have 15% of equity in the home. So you may not build that much equity that quick. So this program allows you to be able to go into a home and say, you know what, I love everything about the house except for the kitchen. And it's going to cost me $10,000 to upgrade the kitchen. So what you can do is, let's, you know, as an example, you pay $300,000 for the house. You can get a mortgage based on a $310,000 value and have the $10,000 to upgrade that kitchen.
You have to use it for that specific.
Yeah. Well, you don't have. Well, you have to use it because we have to identify right up front when we send in for the approval. We have to indicate exactly what you're doing with it. So you actually have to go out and get a quote on the work that's going to be done. That being said, I've had customers where, you know, they can't get the company that they want to come in and do the quote, and we'll always say, as long as that's the work you're doing, as long as you give us that quote, we can use it. And if somebody else ends up doing the work, as long as that work was done, then that's okay as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but it's a great program. Now, again, I mean, you know, not everything is included. And
like what
I
isn't?
want to indicate a pool wouldn't be included, a hot tub wouldn't be included, because it's not perceived to add value to a home. But kitchens,
Yet
roofs.
it does.
Well, it does. Well, maybe, depending on who's buying.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it would too. But a roof, windows, the most standard that we see is finishing a basement, you know, finishing room, or redoing the bathrooms, redoing the kitchen. Those are standard things that we see.
Yeah. So it has to be some sort of improvement that would up the value of your home.
Yeah, it's got to be deemed that it's going to increase the value of the home, because
Right.
of course the bank is lending based on that value now.
Right. So you have to apply for this in advance.
Well, so once you put your purchase agreement in place, you need to incorporate the fact that if that's the way you want to go, you need to get a contractor in there to give you a quote as to what it's going to cost. And then when we submit it for approval, we'll actually submit the purchase agreement plus the improvement that you're doing and get you an approval based on those two together.
What if I'm going to do the work on my own?
Well, you can, but you still need to provide us with a quote of the
what it's
materials
gonna
that you're going to buy. So you still could do the work. Now, there's a time frame. Typically, 60 to 90 days is the normal time frame. So you couldn't apply for this and then do the work in a year or 2 years from now. It's a 60 to 90 day time frame that the work's going to be done.
Okay, so there are certain rules.
There are rules for sure.
Now, you mentioned first-time home buyers. Does this apply to anybody?
Well, it applies to anybody. It could be your second home, your third home. It doesn't matter. Maximum, too, is depending on the insurer, CMHC is 10% of whatever the value of the house is. So if you bought a house for $300,000, the max you can do is $30,000. Genworth, who's another default insurer, will do up to 20%. That being said, most of them have $40,000 maxes as well. So regardless of what the price of the home, they may max it out at $40,000.
Certainly something to look into, though.
You know what? It's a great program. Again, I mean, if you fall in love with a house and not necessarily one little, you know, you don't like the bathroom or you don't like one of the bedrooms, this avenue is available to be able to make that happen within that home.
MortgageBrokersOttawa.com. Go to the website and then start asking some questions about this. Maybe you'll, you know, you can apply and get this going for you. Called the Purchase Plan Improvement Program.
Purchase Plus Improvement. You got it.
Thank you, Frank.
Pleasure.
Good to see you.
Pleasure.